Yeah, I mean, I think that that's perfectly reasonable. Um, I mean, part of the issue is that when you observe systems external to you, you only ever see behavior, right? So you always have to make the inference that there is consciousness behind those. Now, why should you make the inference that only certain kinds of behavior that you've been trying and say like biological brain matter must, you know, uh, correlate to a conscious experience? Like that seems useful maybe from like a biological standpoint where you're trying to coordinate yourself with minds that are at a similar scale to you, you know, by not wasting processing power thinking of consciousness and every possible rock and every possible thing. And honestly, even idealism is like I still struggle with the combination problem with idealism where you're like, okay, so if I accept that maybe the chair has consciousness, what about the chair minus one leg? Is that its own conscious frame of reference? So what about the chair minus this atom and that atom? You know, all the different permutations. Like, are they also their own conscious systems? I. It's an interesting question, and to some extent, also, I suspect that. I mean, my current views, if I'm to speak like in a more like speculative fashion, are that like the universe is both uh both solipsism and like universal mind are true. So it's sort of like yes, there I guess solipsism would be fundamentally true, but to some extent, since the the universal mind is capable of like simulating any possible experience as a conscious frame of reference, it's also the case that any system you interact with could therefore be viewed as conscious. And I don't know. This is where my thoughts are all still very vague, to be honest. It's still territory I'm exploring.